How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about yet another hate crime hoax, this time in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area at a Christian school. Now, there is a lot to quote-unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say, but first, let me get into the actual alleged hate crime, which has been proven to be false, the school itself, and who is a teacher at the particular school that the media wanted to point out for their own nefarious purposes. Now, first of all, a 12-year-old girl by the name of Amari Allen, and if I got that name wrong, let me know in the comments below. She said that 3 white classmates held her down and cut off some of her dreadlocks, okay? Talking about, oh, they said my dreads were ugly and it was nappy. That was the original complaint. Then, in a lot of the articles you'll read about this when the complaint first came out, people also reported that Mike Pence's wife, Karen Pence, teaches there, which is true. She is a part-time teacher at Immanuel Christian School, which is a private, obviously, Christian school. But what does she got to do with it? Okay, she teaches there, yes, but it was not like she was in the room watching it, recording it, uploading it to Instagram. I mean, she just teaches at the school. She just happened to teach at the same place. So why is that really important? Well, back when she got the job, it was news because the school, of course, is Christian, and they do not accept LGBTQIA, ABCD, whatever, students or teachers. So, of course, it was labeled as being homophobic, transphobic, all these other obes in this. And then, of course, Karen Pence was given that same label, which had already been on Mike Pence because of the so-called conversion therapy. So you see how it was a beautiful story for the media, right? This poor little young black girl being victimized by a bunch of racist white boys in a Christian, bigoted, hateful, intolerant school where Karen Pence teaches at, and Mike Pence is her husband, and he is a big-time homophobe, transphobe, whatever else you want to call it. According to the mainstream media, that is a general thing they have going on. I'm watching this kind of play out, and I'm like, okay, the story does not really seem like it's legitimate. I thought that from the very beginning. Straight away, when I heard the story, I'm like, all right, I'm going to just wait on this, see if a little bit more comes out. You know, I did the story about the hate crime hoax in Atlanta where the guy got caught red-handed by the police, because it's like, all right, it wasn't just a report that came out where, you know, it said he had MAGA and N-word and monkeys, all kind of stuff spray painted in his business. It wasn't just that. You also had the police that came out and said that this is most likely fake, and he actually got charged with a crime. He got locked up in some more stuff. It's a mugshot and everything. So I knew that case was pretty much what it was, and I felt comfortable being able to report on it. Now we have more info in this story. The whole thing, the dreads cutting in the white boys, all of that was totally fake. All of it, totally 100% fake, fraudulent. The girl and her family admitted to the whole story being fake. There is a statement released by the family to a lawyer, I suppose, and I'll place that in the box, basically saying we're sorry for the kids that we accused, because there were 3 white kids that were actually accused. I've not seen their names be released to the media, but I'm sure they were known to the actual school itself. They probably got in trouble, maybe even faced expulsion, okay, over something they didn't do. I'm sure that happened, but luckily the names didn't get out to the media, because, you know, if it did, the ravenous mainstream media would be all over them, all down their back, outside of their house, protesting, bullhorns, the whole 9 yards, because that was the case with my man from Covington High School, Nick Salmon. They doxed him, was calling his house, cell phones, threatening him, went to his school, grown full adults with kids, grandkids, the whole 9 yards, out there with bullhorns protesting this kid for a thing he didn't even do, sitting there minding his own business. For that, he gets protested, harassed, and doxxed and threatened. Unreal. So then when you see these 3 white boys cutting the dreads, it would have been worse than Nick Salmon. Luckily, their names didn't get out, and I suppose they're going to be okay. Hopefully, they're going to be okay. But this whole thing is crazy. The apology is not enough. And my question would be, why do people keep trying to do these things? I don't really understand. The whole thing with Jussie Smollett, he was not the first one to do a hate crime hoax. There's been several hate crime hoaxes over the years, going all the way back, like before this is even a political country. Like, there's been plenty of hoaxes. You know, sometimes it's innocent. It doesn't result in any kind of real consequence that, will really hurt you in life. But sometimes it gets you killed. Okay. Oh, he assaulted me. He punched me. He cut my dreads. He spray painted MAGA in my restaurant or whatever. These things can end without any harm, or they can end with some serious harm up until death. So it's not really a game to play with. And will we see an apology from the mainstream media for reporting on this? People like Rashida Tlaib commenting on it, talking about stay strong, Amari, this, that, and the third. Are we going to get an apology from them? Are we going to get those same people that supported her when her allegation came out? Are they going to come out and denounce her? Or just going to leave it alone, brush it up under the rug like they normally do? Luckily, many of us that are in the so-called black community did not support Jesse. Because if that weren't the case, it may have gone a totally different way in the media. It may go the way of what's happening right now with Joe Biden talking about, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory, sir. You said what you said on television. I didn't make it up. People on the right didn't make it up. The media is not making it up. You said it. There's documents. There's tape. There's evidence. There's full color, 1080p video, pictures, the whole 9 yards. We have evidence. We have proof. You said what you did with Ukraine, the whole bribery, $1 billion, all this and that. Okay, so it's not a conspiracy theory. And you can't say the thing for Justice Smollett and this whole hate crime kerfuffle. That was the craziest one. I mean, and it goes back to my whole question about why. What are you doing? Justice Smollett, it was a harebrained scheme, yeah, but it was more believable because he had actors and everything else. Granted, you got these big bodybuilder Nigerian guys looking like the brown skin version of the Incredible Hulk each, talking about, oh, it was 2 MAGA supporters, white guys with hats. It's like, come on, man. Like, anybody can see these 2 big boulders going down the street that are not white. I mean, the total opposite of white. Nigerian, I mean, you're talking about my complexion. Like, how am I going to pass off as a white guy, regardless of if I got on mask, gloves, or whatever? You can see my eyes. It's obviously not the case, but I digress. I move on. My point is that these are harebrained schemes that do not work. Justice Smollett's was raggedy, but it was more sophisticated than this one here, talking about, oh, they cut me. The red flag to me that made the whole story seem fake from the beginning as I close was when she said they caught my dreads ugly and nappy. Do you think that white boys at Christian private school are going to do that? And if they are going to do that, would they say ugly and nappy? That's not young white boy Christian school language. That's hood black girl language that don't go to the Christian school. Nobody in that school would use that kind of language unless they grew up around people that are kind of in these low income areas. All right. That's just the reality of the situation. Why would they be commenting on the beauty of her hair? Men don't even care about, men period, regardless of whether you black, white, or whatever. Men don't care about hair that much. That's usually a female thing. To really be into your hair, oh, it's ugly and nappy. We're not really concerned about that much. All we care about is, do I like it? We're not caring about the intricacies of it, but I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole right now, so I digress. The point is that I thought it was fake from the beginning, and I've been proven correct. It seems like every time I see a so-called hate crime of a white person against a black person, it's fabricated. And the problem is the boy cried wolf syndrome. When there is a real hate crime that happens, nobody's going to believe it. Everybody's going to have in the back of their mind, Jesse Smollett, Amari Allen, the guy in Atlanta with the flat screen TVs in the back of his own truck talking about, oh, they got stolen from me. The young lady also in Atlanta talking about the white guy got in front of me, called me all types of N-words, say go back to where you come from, this, that, and the third. Nobody's going to believe you, and it's going to come at the wrong time where the person should be believed, and that's unfair. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that this person was right to apologize? Was it the right thing to do to come out and apologize? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or do you think the apology was too little, too late? I mean, you already put it out there now. People are going to run with this narrative. So when regular, everyday normies are out there talking, having a discussion with somebody, or just going to the ballot box to vote, they're going to think about things like this. Oh, it was a hate crime here, a hate crime there, a hate crime there, a hate crime there, a hate crime there. I'm in danger. I got to vote to protect myself. It's an irrational thought, but people are going to think that. They're not going to see the apology. They're not going to see the retraction. They're not going to see the correction. They're not going to see any of that. All they're going to see is the initial thing. You can publish a story like this and it'll get tons of views and shares and retweets and clicks and mentions, but then post the actual retraction, apology, it's not true, this, that, and the third, it'll get much less of those very same things I mentioned, much less engagement. That's how it is. So people aren't really going to see the end result of it. All they're going to see is the beginning headline, and they'll roll with that until the end. It's really unfortunate, and I hope that a thing could be done to stop it. One thing I will say to anybody out there is, look, this is 2019. Technology is everywhere. It's pervasive. You will not get away with these fake hate crimes. Your little harebrained schemes are not going to work out. Stop it. Why must you, in the world that's so racist and hateful and bigoted, why must you constantly make up hate crimes to victimize yourself? People have this infatuation with being the victim so much that they got to create their own victimhood narrative to lay in every night to feel comfy and safe like a blanket. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.